Hello, everybody. I kind of like to do a little quick introduction to my channel. I'm still waiting on my freeze dryer, but I do plan on doing um, freeze dry videos, and I want to kind of focus on, I notice everybody seems to be doing the same type of food. I want to bring something different, different types of experiments with different types of food. Even maybe even try to touch on some of the food that others have failed. I have ideas for making them actually work. So I'd like to try to at least do some experimentations and let y'all see the results. A lot of different foods, maybe even some exotic foods. Down here in South Louisiana, we have a lot of different types of stuff, a lot of Cajun foods I don't want to do. And I'd kind of like to try to do alligator and see how that comes out. But yeah, there's a lot out there that have never been done before, that I'd like to try to work on. But about a month ago, um, I I created a spreadsheet that I've been working on since, adding a lot of new features, and it's gained a lot of popularity in a very short time, and it's been it's been requested that I do a tutorial video to show the ins and the outs of the spreadsheet, and how to do certain things, and how to navigate it. So I've gotten it to the point where I've gotten a lot of features, and it's getting to that point where you're gonna start needing a little bit of help. So this video is gonna touch on that. So I guess we can get started. Basically, this is what you get. This is what you when you first get the spreadsheet. This is what it looks like. So let's go through each column. Of course, the date, pretty self-explanatory. The type. So this is where you choose what what it is that you want to freeze dry. I have it set on meat, and I changed the food just last night to a drop down, so you no longer have to type in your food. I am getting things set up to be able to do a full inventory automatically based on what you freeze dry and how you store it. Especially for long-term storages, I think it's important to have an inventory so you can keep track of what you have. Um, so I figured the drop down would make it easier to be able to implement that. So this is you have different types of meats in here. Like say you want to do something other than meat, and you want to do say condiments, for example. Um, you and if you notice, the food list changes to only condiments. So if you notice, when I changed to condiments, the color changed. I have the color split up into two categories. Um, One is type, as you just noticed. The other is, for example, if I go to vegetables, for example, see it changes, but it also changes when you switch the condition. So if you go from raw to cooked, it changes again. And yeah, I'm probably gonna have to change gonna have to change that to a darker color so you can see the text better. So basically, if you go to say meat, and Right here, you can type in your food cost. Um, and this, the prepared is how the meat or whatever it is if it's chopped or cut up or diced. That's how the condition of it when you put it in the freeze dryer. Um, you can use ice trays, individual pieces. That's mostly used for candies. Um, Liquid, proportion, silicone molds, slice hole. That's where you do that at. Here's where you enter in your starting weight. You just enter 5 point whatever, and it will list it in pounds automatically. Same thing with finished weight. And this is your freeze time. This has to be entered. See how it comes out. In order to properly do it, you have to enter in that exact format. Basically, you just don't worry about the seconds. Just hours and minutes with a colon separating them, and it'll automatically. You don't have to worry about all that other garbage. Same thing with dry time, final dry time, and so total cycle time is calculated automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. Power usage. Now this is a big one. You just have to enter in. Well, this is basically done automatically for you. Now, I have been asked, how is power usage determined? Power usage is it's a little complicated the way it's done in here, the calculations, because it's a lot more accurate than. So I have it using your drying time, your freeze time, your drying time, and your final dry time all plays a part in the total cycle time. Well, it all plays a part in the power usage, actually, I should say. The power usage is based on, I've determined the average power that's consumed for each of these cycle times. And I have it down here in the database. The freezing cycle averages about 0.33 kilowatt per hour. Kilowatt hours per hour. A drying time is 0.73. As you can see, it's a pretty big jump there. It costs a lot more power during the drying cycle. And final dry is pretty close to the drying cycle. It's got a good bit of power consumption there. So I've got it I've got it calculating all of that to give you your total power usage. And this is how you want to store it. You can choose from all these different options how you want to store it. And it stores type long-term, short-term. Now here is where you choose your packaging. Now if you choose mason jar, on package size it gives you all the mason jar sizes. If you were to choose Mylar bag, it would give you the Mylar sizes. So like say now going with mason jar, if you notice, it automatically decides you're using a mason jar, so you're more than likely going to be vacuum sealing it in your harvest right. and so it decides you don't need an O2 absorber. But if you were to choose Mylar bag and then choose your Mylar size, say you're going to go with a gallon, it automatically chooses the correct O2 absorber. So you don't even have to think about it. You know exactly which one to use. If you go with a quart size, it automatically changes to the appropriate absorber. Now this total water needed, this is based on your weights for now. I know it's not very accurate. Still haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do this just yet. But it does tell you how much water is needed according to. But when it comes to doing steaks and stuff like that, you know, you just put it in water. It doesn't matter. This is more for other things. I'll be able to tweak that better once I start freeze drying and see exactly how it's going to work. And this is where you put your quantities. You just have to enter in a number, and it automatically displays packages and jars. And the batch number. You don't have to worry about this. It will automatically generate a batch number. Okay, so sales price. This is only for those that are selling freeze-dried products. This is to keep a control over your profit and your losses. So basically, you put how much your sales price is going to be for this cycle, how much you're going to make off of this, how much you're going to charge for all the stuff that was on this cycle. That brings us to our next sheet, the cost sheet. You don't have to do anything on this sheet. Everything is calculated automatically. So it's the food cost. It's so the power cost. Okay, this is what I was wanting to get to. The power cost, that is generated from the numbers that we just went over with the power usages. But added to that, it takes your total kilowatt hours of power that you've used, and it multiplies that by what your utility company charges you for power. So in my case, I pay about 9 cents a kilowatt hour, and I have those numbers in the database. And here you can change what your cost per kilowatt hour is. This can be changed right here, so it'll give you an exact amount of how much you are having to pay based off of what what you pay the power company. So that's also, we have other things. I'll get to that in a second. So you have your power cost, package cost, and O2 cost. Now these come from that same database. This is based on the prices I pay. If you would like, you can change those numbers how to match. I've got it all right here. This is the Mylar price for the Mylar bags. These are your mason jar prices right here. You have your O2 prices. It's pretty simple. You just don't want to edit anything below this line right here, because it can it'll screw you up. um, so now the status. Now this is something I just added this last night. Um, because I started to think, well, what if you have these failed attempts and then you have all these costs involved, and of course the profit wouldn't be accurate because on a failed attempt you didn't make any profit. In fact, it costs you money. So I decided to do this, where you have a checkbox. This is that last, it says failed. If you have a failed attempt, if it's successful, if everything worked out great, leave it alone. But if it doesn't, if it was a total failure and you don't have anything to show for it, you check this little box right here, and it will automatically cross it out so that you can come back later in the future and you can see all the stuff that didn't work, so you could either make it better, or you can just give up on it if it can't be done. And that's what I have the notes here for, so you can type in different stuff related to that particular cycle. So you have total profit. If you notice, your total cost is $28.21. But your total profit is, you just lost $22.61 in that failed attempt. It basically takes your food cost, your power cost. It doesn't factor in package cost or anything like that because you haven't used any. So you come out with minus $22.61. That was a major loss. Now, okay, so let's do a new sheet. Let's do a new cycle here. For date, you just put in, let's see, let's put today's date, 03, and there. And that's what you end up with. So let's do something besides meat. Let's try to do a vegetable, maybe. So we have a lot of vegetables. Let's try to do. Also, if you're looking for something in particular, you can actually just start typing it in. If it's in the list, it'll bring it up. Let's do onions. So let's see. Let's do raw onions. And there you go. At that point, once you do that, if you notice, it creates a batch number. So let's say food cost. Let's say $10. Okay, so let's do chopped. Starting weight, let's say 4 pounds. Finished. Let's finish it too, because it's got a high water content. Okay, so let's say freeze dry time is 15 hours. Drying time, let's say 5 hours. And let's say 4 hours for final dry time. Okay, so Oh, okay, so that's why it's important. See, I didn't do it right, and it throws your numbers off. So, because it puts that. Okay. Oops. Okay, so. Okay, so you're left with 24 hours cycle time. Okay, so power usage 2286. Storage condition. So we're gonna store it chopped. Long term. You know what? I think I'm gonna use a mason jar for this. I use a quart size. And how many? Let's say we get 3 jars out of that, just as an example. And let's say our food cost was $10. So let's say we charge $30 for this. Okay, now we come to the cost, and here we are, $15.30 profit. And that's what you come up with. Now let's say you fail, and you click that, and here you are. You lost $12.06. Of course, that's not counting your time, but so okay. Now there's one more thing I want to show you. I want to show you the food database. This is a database that holds all of your foods in the different categories, and you can also add to this. So let's say you want to add something that doesn't exist. You just add whatever category it's in. You add it to the bottom of it, and I highly recommend that you highlight that whole column and come over here to data and sort range by column, A to Z. I would recommend doing that because actually, take that back and don't highlight the whole column. I mean, you just go to the bottom like so, and then you try, and then you do this there, and this will sort it in alphabetical order so you can find it easy. I do that every time I add something. So this is that is pretty much the spreadsheet. I will go over more, and I will continue to add, and I welcome you to my channel, and I hope that you will subscribe because I have a lot of interesting things coming up um, that you're not going to want to miss. I'm going to be doing a lot of different things. So playing with my new toy. I've been wanting one of these for a few months, and I decided to go ahead and do it. I hope y'all have a good rest of your day, and thank you for watching.